Today we're going to be talking about VR games that you simply can't put down. I'm talking about those ones that draw you in so deeply they're always in the back of your mind until you complete them, or you just love going back to these and re-experiencing them over and over again. I'm going to be sharing 12 of my personal favourite games that I've been playing across this year so far, the ones that have just been drawing me back in over and over again. Of course, as always, I ask you one small favour at the beginning of these, and that is if you enjoy this, please do consider smashing that like button, and of course subscribing if you are new, because then you get to see awesome videos like this every single time I upload, and well, it makes life just a little bit better. Now, let's dive into our very first game on this list, and this is an absolute no-brainer for me, and that is Into the Radius 2. Now, I have been massively addicted to this game recently, to the point where it's getting a little bit dangerous how much time I'm spending inside of this universe. I've personally been playing this on the Quest 3 just because of its accessibility and ease of just getting into and playing, plus it looks absolutely bloody phenomenal on a Quest 3. To the point where there's so little difference between this and the PC version, honestly it's just way easier to jump in and just slap my headset on and get into this game. Now, why do I love this game? Well, it's just got so much going on in it, from the survival aspect of just grinding your way through this game to, you know, being able to organise all of your stuff, to be able to get in there and have some horror, have some adventure. It's just got so many elements to this game that just lock me in and keep me coming back for more and more. I mean, I've literally at times jumped in for an hour and a half and all I've done is just reorganise my entire room, stacking cans in different places, organising all my bullet collection, my guns on the wall, and then my different outfits for when I'm going out to do different things. It's just such an addictive process, and I personally absolutely love it. This game is an absolute 10 out of 10 for me, and if you haven't played Into the Radius, whether you get 1 or 2, you're going to have an incredible time. Just get into this game and you're going to thank me later. Next up we have Behemoth. Now, Behemoth drew me right in straight away as soon as this game came out. I completed it, I really enjoyed myself, and then I just shelved it and that was it. I was kind of done with it. Recently they dropped a mode where you can go back in and fight all of the behemoths again, as well as like this really fun sort of sandbox mode where you go in and just fight. Now, I've actually been ridiculously addicted to going back in there and re-experiencing those moments just because they are so grand, and it's kind of nice once you've completed the game to sort of not have to go through all of the stuff in between that, just to get back to those epic moments inside of VR. And for me, that just keeps drawing me back in for more and more action. On top of that, the combat in this game is so much fun, just like destroying people in various different ways, that it just again keeps drawing me back in. I've been on a bit of a movement flex at the moment where I just want to get back moving again, and this game definitely helps me do that and just gets me active, gets your heart rate up a little bit, and you just have a really good time at the same time. So definitely one I'm recommending. If you haven't played this before, the story is really fun from start to finish. Not the longest of games, but about the right length in my opinion, and on top of that you have like these added extras now that they're putting into there, so it just really drew me back in, and it's why I made it onto this list. Next up we have Hard Bullet, and now again the reason this one has come back up is I've been playing this game for years at this point on PCVR, but recently it came out on the Quest, and again that just makes my life so damn easy to just chuck on my Quest. Again, it looks phenomenal inside of the headset, so what's the real difference here apart from a little bit of graphical fidelity? Almost nothing. So now what I could do is just jump into there and, you know, be a bit of a psycho. But when you've had a hard day's work and you just want to do something fun, goofy, and, well, a little bit brutal, well then you can jump into this game and do that. You can get into like the action hero mode, just have a bit of fun, destroying, shooting, slashing, gashing, and all the other weird things that you could say about this game, but nonetheless it's a really fun one just to get into, lose a bunch of time to, and it's really easy to blink and an hour and a half is gone, an hour is gone, easy peasy, and just enjoy yourself. Next on the list we have Crave. Now this one is a relatively new one to my roster of games that I enjoy playing, but man, I really enjoy this game. Now it's a very simplistic game on the surface, you know, you're splunking, you're doing this sort of like whole caving thing, but there's something that is just incredible about the way that this game captivates me personally while I'm playing it. The fact that you have to breathe in to be able to get through certain spaces, you have to clean off your gloves, you have to really think about your way that you're going because it could lead to a very bad path for you. It's also got like a fun little bit of a story where you're sort of following after your father and stuff like that. So it's kind of got just enough elements to really hook me in. Not only that, but I genuinely could never go splunking in real life. I just cannot stand tight spaces like that. I think I would probably have a heart attack and I would be one of the people that never comes back out of a cave. So for me, it allows me to really utilize VR for what it's useful for, and that is doing something that I just physically can't do in the real world. So I just love the idea that I can sort of experience kind of what that's like without the risk of you know, pop in my clogs. So definitely a high recommend from me. It's got a lot of fun game modes in there as well. If you want to play ones where you're going to go up against terrible monsters, then that's also in there as well. And they're also just adding to this frequently to make it even more fun. So there's a reason why this game has been popping lately, and that's definitely it. Next up, we have The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 in particular. Now, recently I've been just on a bit of a binge of getting back into games that I really care about, and this one was one I chucked on again, and I just couldn't help myself but just do a full run of this game. About a month ago, I was just solidly addicted to jumping back into Saints and Sinners, and I'd just forgotten just how amazing the story, the decision making, the adventure, the exploration, everything about this game just was. It's so advanced for its time that playing it now still feels like this could have come out last week and it would still be incredible. Not just that, but this is the game that lent its mechanics to virtually every game that you currently know, from infantry systems to weight mechanics to so many different things that really have changed VR ever since this game came out. Now, I just personally love this. I love the Walking Dead franchise, and being able to step into that world and feel like, you know, how would I survive in a zombie apocalypse? You know, this really helps answer that question. The answer is probably no, I wouldn't, but I would have a good time trying. But no, nonetheless, I've really enjoyed this. I've just really enjoyed going through Chapter 1 again. Now, Chapter 2 definitely has its issues, and I'm looking forward to replaying it at some point to see whether I change my mind now that I've sort of completed the first one again. But definitely one just to remind you, if you haven't tried this, it's one to get in your life, and perhaps if it's been a hot minute since you played it, it's also one to re-adventure into, because it's a good way to lose a good another sort of 60-70 hours easy. Next up, we have Contractors Showdown Exfil. Now, this has just been a real freaking beast for me to get into. I really enjoy this game because I love that Exfil type of game anyway. It just lends itself perfectly to this. But the best thing about this that I've found so far is it just feels like the best experience that you can have so far like this. Like, I like Tarkov for a bit and stuff like that, but this one for me beats that, and I really think it's probably down to just how fun this game is to play. I like the cycle of like the way you're going through things. I really enjoy like combat experiences, getting to fight someone else in there, and on top of that, I just love the thrill of if you actually manage to exfil everything. You know, it just has all of these elements to it that absolutely win me over, and so far I've been really enjoying. They've also got a new update coming out pretty soon where you're going to be able to properly build out all of your weapons and stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. In the same way that I love Inter-Radius for being able to just do all that management system, this is going to answer that side of it for me as well, sort of tickling that urge that I want to just sometimes get in and just, you know, build a couple of guns, make them look badass for when I go in. Next up, we have Batman Arkham Shadow. Now, this is again another one of those games that I absolutely adored when I played through it the first time, played through start to finish within like a couple of days because I really enjoyed this game. And again, I shelved it and I hadn't played it and picked it up for a really long time. It sort of like popped up in my library. I was like, dude, yeah, I need to try that again. So I jumped back in and oh my god, I hadn't been able to put it down again for a few days until I completed it. I'd just forgotten just how peak this game actually was for the Quest 3. Not only does it look absolutely stunning, the combat's super duper fun, but also, as I said earlier in the video, I've been on like this sort of movement binge at the moment where I just want to get up and get moving again, and this definitely does that. You're going to break a freaking sweat if you're playing this game because those combos definitely get that heart rate up and just get you moving again. So this one is just a fantastic experience from start to finish. Really incredible. If you haven't played it, play it. It's just a really fun game, and like I say, even playing through it a second time, I just enjoyed it as much as the first time, mainly because I didn't have to even really think too hard about some of those puzzles because I already solved them, which just led to me even more feeling like friggin' Bruce Wayne / Batman, you know? Next up, we have Medieval Dynasty New Settlement. Now, I really enjoyed this game for a period of time when it first came out because I like this style of game anyway. In this, of course, you know, you're going to be growing your community, you're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff like hunting, making stuff, and of course, like, you know, crops and hunting and stuff. Doing all of those sort of survival aspect things at the same time as building this community around you, and there's something very addictive about that type of gameplay loop for me at least. This is one of those games that I always periodically pick up again. I cannot play it for a month but then go back into it and just feel like I'm right back where I was and just carry on experiencing this game. It doesn't take a lot of sort of mental fortitude to get back into the mood to play this game, and it doesn't make you feel like, you know, some games that you pick up and you're like, what the hell was I doing? Whereas this one, it just feels like you can flow back into it regardless of whether you played it like for 4 weeks ago or not, you know. So this one, that's why it kind of made the list for me, because it is one I repeatedly go back to, and it is one that I feel at home at every single time I play it. If you haven't tried it, this is a really surprisingly good game. If you're into that sort of survival, community building kind of thing, then this just ticks all those boxes, and it's just a really like fun game to play. Well, until you come up against a bear, that is. Next up, we have The Climb 2. Now, again, funnily enough, this is a game I hadn't played in a really long time. I tried it just out of, you know, like, is this game held up or not? And then I became slightly addicted to it again. Just running through all of the levels in this. Again, paying off towards my movement that I've been wanting to get in this year, and damn, this game is just super duper fun. I feel like people were disappointed in this when it very first came out because they wanted kind of something else from this game, as well as a lot of people really wanted this to come to PCVR, me included, because graphically it would have been absolutely bloody stunning to see on a PC. But nonetheless, I still really enjoyed myself in time of this, and I feel like probably having lower expectations now, just revisiting something, I just had a different mindset towards it, and I really thoroughly enjoyed myself from start to finish playing this game. And I keep going back to this and I keep replaying levels that I enjoyed because, well, you just can't really get this sort of stimulation from any other VR game that we currently have. This is a very unique case of just a solid game that looks pretty damn nice and gives you that feeling of like, holy crap, if I let go, I'm dead. Next up, we have Smash Drums. Now, this is a game that is honestly always on my catalogue. I love this game because it's probably my only rhythm game that I truly care about. And on top of that, I just like the music that's inside of it. I mean, like, I like a bit of punk rock, I like a bit of that sort of style of music. So having, you know, being met with good music, and on top of that a game that I find addictive, and again on top of that something that just gets a little bit of cardio in, this is just a really good example of a solid game that's just so damn fun to play. Not just that, but you can also use the Rhys drum set, which I think is, you know, probably the coolest drum set in there, needless to say. But yeah, if you're looking for a rhythm game and you don't want to beat some more sabers, well then this is definitely going to be for you. Personally, I just like it because, again, it's the music type I enjoy, as well as smashing the crap out of some drums. Just feels good. Next up is a kind of a surprise one for me because I just didn't see a world where I'd actually say this, but lo and behold, we have entered one now, and that is Hitman. Hitman coming to the PSVR 2 earlier this year was such a surprise win for the VR community because we've had Hitman on PC VR before, we've had Hitman on the Quest, we've even had Hitman on PlayStation VR 1, and man, none of them landed. They were all really shockingly bad experiences, and just the lightest touch of VR involved in them, basically wearing a headset. Whereas this finally feels like you're embodying that freaking agent and just taking on these missions for like the first time properly. So I've really been enjoying myself jumping into this. It's sort of like one of those absolute no-brainers when you've got a bit of time to waste to run a mission and just enjoy yourself. It keeps me coming back because, well, there's a ton of content inside of Hitman. And for that reason, it's just such an easy one to put on this list. If you own a PSVR 2, definitely highly recommend. If you own a Quest or a PC headset, then I beg you don't bother spending your money on this game because it's just shockingly crap on every other headset other than the PSVR 2. I hope to God that they take that and then they make that the same for the other platforms, but for now at least, the only way to play this game is PSVR 2. It's just, I just don't buy the other copies of it. And last but absolutely not least, Asgard's Wrath 2. Now, recently Meta has been running a huge ad campaign where they've been doing all like these very cinematic movie style trailers for the game, and it kind of piqued my interest again to the point where I was like, damn, maybe I do need to go back and re-experience this game. So over the last sort of week and a half, I have been playing the crap out of this game, just remembering how good it is. Not just that, but without the pressure of initially trying to review this thing or make content for this game, I could just go back into this and completely enjoy it the same as you guys, where I don't have to think about anything more than just enjoying the game and just enjoying like the world that I'm in. And actually, I have massively enjoyed this game going back into it. Now, I loved it in the first place, so that's not changed, but I've just, honestly, this is such a big game. There is so much to do in it. There's so many different things that you're going to have happen across your journey of playing this game, as well as getting all these cool companions. The dope combat, which is actually held up really nicely. It's a really good combat system inside of this game. It's basic, but it's exactly what it needs to be in a game like this, with enough like frills to make it feel like a special experience. On top of that, some of the cinematic stuff in this is friggin' awesome. Some of the boss fights is freaking dope as hell. And then on top of that, you've got like these sort of like little things that are going to keep you coming back to it more and more to like hunt out the secrets or do all the little bits that you have to do going through this game. And there you have it, guys. That is all the games I'm going to be speaking about today. That is 12 absolute friggin' bangers. I'm sure there's at least one in there that you haven't tried yet. If you haven't, go and pick it up and get it in your life. And if not, hopefully I've reminded you of why you should maybe be picking up some of these games and replaying them, or just getting back into them again at this point, because it's been a while. So a lot of these games have been out for probably over a year at this point, some of them way longer. So it's time to sort of like maybe revisit some of the games in your library. It's not always about the new games that have come out. Sometimes it's just about re-experiencing some of the dope stuff that you've already had come out. And I know a lot of you guys and girls that watch these videos have probably only been into VR for like 6 months. There is a wealth of content that came out over the last few years, so don't ever think that, well, I'm not playing that, it's an old game. This is actually, sometimes the older games are possibly some of the best that we've had come out in VR so far. So go check them out, enjoy yourself. If there's anything that you think I should add to this list that you have been just super addicted to, then please let me know in the comments down below. If enough of you suggest good games, I might even do a second part to this where I'll experience all the games that you suggest, and we'll see how they hold up for me and my interest. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, bye.